Today we're going to talk about 2-3, explaining number puzzles. And what happens in a number puzzle is algebra explains why many number puzzles work and how to invent them. If you go to the next slide here, as I'm going to show you, this is an example of a email that somebody got where it says, "I can guess your age." We have all seen these before. What a lot of people don't realize is this is just algebra, okay? You follow the steps, you do the math, bada bing, bada boom, there's your age. How do they get your age? Well, normally you have to start with it. Therefore, all they're doing is some mathematical problem to get you somewhere, to get you back to your age. So let's go through this one. It says, first step is write down your age, okay? So, most of you are 14, 15, so I'm just going to put 14, okay? The second step says add 3. Well, 14 plus 3, you are going to tell me is 17. Then it says multiply by 5, okay? If you're going to multiply that by 5, 17 times 5 gives me 35. I got to bring my 3 up to the top, so 5 times 1 plus 3 is 85. Then it says subtract your age. Well, our age is 14, so 85 minus 14 is 71. Now it says add 9. If I add 9 to 71, I get out 80. I divide by 4, I get 20. And if I subtract 6, 20 minus 6, I get out 14. The number you got is your age. Is that my age? Yes. I'm going to take you through the algebra way and show you how they came up with this little rendition of creating your own number puzzle. Okay? When they say write down your age, what happens algebraically is that is your variable. Okay? That's your n. You can do anything to it because it could be anybody's age. It could be your grandma's age, which is 80. It could be your father's age, which is 50. It could be your age, which is 15. Okay? It could be any number. So that is our variable. The second step says add 3. Well, I got to add 3 to n. So what happens in the next step? Well, they take n and they add 3 to it. The third step says you have to multiply by 5. Well, I have to multiply all this by 5. So it's 5 parentheses n plus 3. You don't just multiply the n or just a 3. You have to multiply them both. So that's our distributive property. 5 times n is 5n. 5 times 3 is 15. Then the next step says, after you multiply by 5, it says subtract your age. Well, our age algebraically is n. So actually what I'm doing is taking 5n plus 15 and subtracting an n, combine like terms. 5n minus n is 4n. And then I still have my plus 15. Next step says add 9. So I'm going to take 4n plus 15, add 9 to it, combine like terms. So there's only one n, so I bring that with. 15 plus 9 is 24, you all should be telling me. Then it says divide by 4. So I got to take all that and divide by 4. Well, you can separate this up, or we know that 4 has to go into 4n, and it also has to go into 24. 4 goes into 4n, 4 divided by 4, so I'm left with n. 4 goes into 24 6 times. Okay? And number 7 says subtract 6, so I take n plus 6, and I subtract 6, and that leaves me with n, which is what I started with, which means we can find out anybody's age using this formula. Now, there's multiple ways you could do that. They just showed you a problem that they've done before. Here's another puzzle that makes everybody go crazy. It says the 7 is heaven puzzle. In the next puzzle, the result is not original number. Okay, it's not a number you started with. But it is surprisingly in a different way. It says work the puzzle on the right with a few numbers. Then use a variable to create an expression to explain the puzzle, why the puzzle works. So 7 is heaven puzzle. Over here, let's do our, let's just pick a number. So in this case, let's just use our age again. Let's go 14. Second step says add 1 gives me 15. Multiply by 2 gives me 30. Multiply by 3 gives me 90. Subtract 4 gives me 86. Add 5 gives me 91. Subtract 6 times your original number. Well, what's 6 times 14? 24, 6, 7, 8. So we got to subtract 84. 91 minus 84 is 7. What a coinkydink. You're always going to get 7. Let's show the steps over here algebraically how this is going to work every single time. When you pick a number, that's your variable. You could pick any number. So let's that be n. Second step is you add 1 to it. N plus 1. Third step is multiply by 2. So I had to take everything times 2. So that's 2 quantity n plus 1, which gives me out 2n plus 2. Fourth step says multiply by 3, so I got to take all that, multiply it by 3. 3 times 2n is 6n. 3 times 2 is 6. Step 5 says subtract 4. So when I subtract 4, I'm only subtracting it from this 6 because I don't have a 4n. So that gives me 6n plus 2, because 6 minus 4 is 2. Okay. Step 6 says add 5. So now I'm going to add 5 to this. I can only add it to the 2. So it gives me 6n plus 7. Okay. Everybody notice where my 7 came from? And then step 7, this is where a lot of people get confused at, but it says subtract 6 times your original number. Well, 6 times my original number is n. So actually what happens is you take this and you subtract 6 times the original number. The original number is n. So you're actually subtracting 6n, which means this and this add out, which leaves you with always 7. And that's how those examples work. Example 2 says, create a number puzzle that begins and ends with the same number. Kind of like our other problem. Okay? So, I'm going to do this one with you, or for you, basically, since we're watching the movie. I'm going to start with the number n. And I'm just going to do a couple things so we get back and you can all see it. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by 3. So this is pick a number. And then I'm going to multiply by 3, which means I get 3n. Okay? And then I'm going to add 2. So I get 3n plus 2. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4. Which gives me then 3n plus 6. Okay, 4 plus 2 is 6. And then I'm going to divide by 3. And when I divide by 3, 3 divided by 3 leaves me n. 6 divided by 3 leaves me with 2. And then I'm going to subtract 2. So 2 minus 2 leaves me with n. So that should work because I start with some number, I should end with some number. So let's pick 7. If I put 7 in here, 7 times 3 is 21, as you're going to tell me. If I put 21 in there, and then I'm going to add 2. I multiplied by 3, okay? And then I'm going to add 2. So 21 plus 2 is 23, as you all are going to tell me. And then I get 23, so then I'm going to add 4, which gives me 27. I'm going to divide by 3, which gives me 9. And then I'm going to subtract 2, which is going to give me 7. Did I start and end with the same number? Yes, I did. Okay. Notice I set it up here so I added 4 here. That way I could go ahead and divide by a common number, 3, because 3 goes into 3, 3 goes into 6. Okay? And all this is working backwards back to your original problem. What I want you to do for me for tomorrow is I want you to create a number puzzle so that the answer always equals 6. So when you do your algebra, kind of like in that 7 is heaven, you're always going to get out 6. Bring that puzzle to me tomorrow, and we'll work on it together in class. Thank you very much. Please enjoy your day.